Hi folks, and welcome to the Filmbook channel. I'm at the smithy and I just want to prove that I'm not talking bullshit. So, this is my anvil, this is my hammer. Got myself some tongs and I'm going to forge firesteel. I have to draw out the material, which is an old file. Can't take any old file, but you need one with high carbon content. I need to keep one eye always on the forge in order to estimate the temperature by the color. Drawing out the material from the rear to the front, from the back to the tip, like that. This is the temperature where I must put it back into the forge. I'm running the forge at the temperature as low as possible, in order not to burn off carbon. Also, I don't poke the material into the acid. Take note, I will do a video on fire management on another occasion. I'm aiming for an orange color to forge. Changing direction frequently in order not to put some cracks into it. Also, I need to check if I am still working in the tolerances. The next step is setting up sort of a tang or something, which is like some mouse tail, I like to say. But you will see. Using the sharp edge of the anvil, I set my material to sort of step. Like so. This kind of work, patience pays off, because if you run the forge at too high a temperature, you risk the carbon burning. As soon as I got a platform to work from, I I can change direction faster in order to preserve temperature. Unfortunately, this is not a forge, so the anvil is at an angle which is less than ideal, so I must compensate for my blows and my muscle memory, so that's not the most beautiful thing there is. And that was too high a temperature. But no harm done in this on this one, because this tang or mouse tail doesn't do a lot and doesn't need to be hardened. You need to be careful though, because the material is getting ever thinner and needs ever less time to develop. Now I forge tip and make that mouse tail as clean as possible before breaking the edges. I will now use the edge of the anvil to forge a little scroll. For that I will take myself a lighter hammer. This is some 1.5 kilograms. Putting the tip over the edge of the anvil, I use sort of scrubbing blows, use the edge of the anvil to close the scroll. Again a scrubbing blow and closing it back in. A little bit of straightening, like so. And what we are left with is, well, where is it now? There is it. It's a lovely little scroll. Now I can already close that in upon what will become a striker. Then I will cut the material to size. My tongues are a little bit tight fitting, so I think I'll get myself another. Always put the hot tongs at a distance to the others, because we will maybe hurt yourself. So putting the scroll out of the fire, because it is thinner, it's otherwise it will burn. Normally I would use a brush to tool the scroll down, but I don't have one here, so I need to be extra careful and heat the material selectively, so the scroll doesn't get too hot, so it doesn't form that easily as the rest of it. Like so. Closing it over the edge of the anvil. again, sort of a scrubbing blow. Straightening it up. Like so. Now I'm going to prepare my hot chisel. Take care to also put your hammer at the ready. Preparation is everything in your blacksmith. This time I want the material to be rather hot. But also not too hot, obviously, because carbon burn. I will set the material at the diagonal on my block anvil. Take note that this is not a traditional anvil, but it's sort of a cutlass anvil. Not a traditional one, but still it was used in making swords and daggers in the ages. I set my chisel on the material and then give it a good whacking with my hammer. Take care not to cut all the way through. So, the closer you get to finishing the cut, the more careful you need to be. This is not all the way through. I need to repeat the procedure, which isn't that good thing, but well. Maybe I can already move the material. I don't make it as hot as possible. Yes, I can. And I do it this way because that way I can sort of cold work it all the way through in order not to let it fly any which way, and really good grip on my tongs though, and put it back. Yeah, maybe not even. Also what I just did is not ideal. Don't use your wrist to compensate for hammer blows. That's not going to do you any good. And it doesn't need a lot of force. If you need force, also don't hit your tongs. Blimey, I'm out of shape. Need to give myself some tongs because it's already there, like that. What I will do is I will put a little scraper on that in order to make it more suitable also for use with a ferro rod. But what I will do now is I will forge sort of an edge to it. Forging is Fire Striker for the girls at Marienhof, Naturerlebnis Marienhof in Hagen, where I'm working because we plan to do a little team workshop and this is a sort of a showpiece in order to show them what we can do. And if I now forge that sort of an edge, you will see something that will come in really handy if you are doing blade forging, because you will see that something will happen. So stay tuned. Forging that sort of edge, I will go to the edge of the anvil, which is a little bit rounded, and that way it will be more efficient and move more material. Actually, now would be a great time to take a break, because I start to get eager, and that's not a good thing. And what just happened is that the striker gets sort of a curve. This is due to I am moving the material in the edge and driving it back up to the back. Now it is really important not to put the edge into the airstream, because carbon burners, and you need every liter of carbon in a fire striker you can possibly wish. So I put it on top of the forge and put some coal over it in order to provide some insulation, and it's almost too hot. And you can obviously do both sides, and since it's not a blade, you don't have to forge it out all the way. This would be perfectly well suited. Now it's time to straighten it some. You don't need to heat it up that much. It shouldn't be cold, but this will do totally fine. What I will do now is I'll take another tool. I don't know how it's called in English. This is sort of a setter, and it's got a rounded peel. And what I will do with this is I will forge an incision in order for provided, or maybe not. I think I leave it as a scraper, and because you got some chisel line here then, and could use it to scrape fatwood too, which I think is a better idea. Normally we should have the plan ready before forging, but I think this is an idea that I will like, so I will leave it at that. And not because I'm lazy, but because the idea just occurred to me, and sometimes you need to be flexible. So, now I wrapped it for a long time, and so I put a lot of tension into the crystalline structure. What I need to do now is to anneal it, and to do that I heat it to hardening temperature and slowly let it cool beside the food. Excuse me for a moment. I will do now is I will also heat up a really big piece of steel, that's leaf spring, in order to slow down the cooling process. I need to add some coal to my forge because it's running out. So I'm back again. The reason why you need to normally anneal fire striker is because you don't temper it. You just quench it to a hardness selectively. Only the edge will be tempered, will be quenched, but it isn't tempered because we want it to be brittle. Because what throws the sparks isn't the stone, but tiny pieces of the steel that's torn out of the structure. So we need the rest to be really fine-grained, and the edge to have some sort of paralytic structure in order to provide some tear out. I got my hardening concoction, which is simple frying fat, which is boiling beside this maybe, which I don't want to have, so I must remove it because it might catch fire, and I don't want that. Take another pan. I will put it somewhere where it doesn't do any harm. Hopefully so. While I'm waiting for the big lump of steel to get hot, it doesn't need to be all hot through or something. It just it isn't going to be forged, but it's important that it's hot and that it's big and that it keeps the temperature rather long. I will also put some fresh coal over it in order to insulate it even more. This will do a tomorrow day. Now I will again heat up my fire striker and put it on the hot lump of steel, which, by the way, I don't know if I already mentioned, is spring steel, leaf spring steel, and it's perfectly okay to use it up afterwards for other things if you don't get it too hot, obviously. The thing with sunlight and the hardening temperature is that it always looks lower in temp than it is, so you need to be extra careful and hold it into the shadow to get your estimate, and this will be absolutely fine. Now it will take some spa, and